As runners, we don't want to get stuck on the past with sayings like, I used to be able to run faster, or I used to be able to run a longer distance. Instead, we want to focus on the present and what we could do now. So let's just do it and keep running. Dealing with running pain. So it's normal for runners to deal with some type of soreness or stiffness. But if that pain is in one area, then it might be an injury. So you definitely want to pay attention to that pain that you are feeling during those runs so you can know when to back off from running. So with that, dealing with running soreness and stiffness is common. So that means that as you start out your run and you feel some type of soreness and stiffness, but it goes away after you have warmed up that body during that run, then it might just be delayed onset muscle soreness from that last run. But if that soreness is not going away as you continue to run, then you might be dealing with some type of injury. So you definitely want to practice RICE, which pretty much means rest, ice, compression, and elevation, some stretches, as well as maybe even massage. But if it continues not going away, then you definitely want to seek medical advice for more information. And on that same line, runners can deal with runner injury, such as shin splints, runner knees, plantar fasciitis, as well as IT band syndrome. So if you do find yourself dealing with an injury, you definitely want to practice RICE once again, which is rest, ice, compression, elevation, and at the same time, some stretches and massages. But be careful with those injuries that you might be experiencing, because if you do experience stress fracture, you definitely want to take off from running. So definitely seek medical advice if you are experiencing any running injury. Track your process. It will help you to be able to analyze how is your running going or how you're doing with your running. Instead of focusing on how slow you're running, just be happy that you are still able to get out there and run. Don't be too hard on yourself. There will always be good days or bad days in running, and there is something to learn from each of those runs. Expect setbacks. There's always obstacles or challenges that we do have to face in our life, and that's even with running. Now on sick days, be sure to take time from running, and that is time that you could go and make sure you're getting proper sleeping and recovery, and just stop running while you're sick. If you are dealing with an injury, then find some time to find something else that you could do that's just as enjoyable as running while you're taking your break. So you could start cycling, swimming, or even going for walks. If you have missed a couple of your training runs, then slowly increase yourself back into where you was, and don't be trying to do too much to try to catch up to where you was when you was training and doing your runs a week or two ago. And just make sure you are being honest with yourself along your running journey. Focus on your weakness until it's something that you become good at. For example of a weakness, a runner that doesn't take rest days. Then you can try to focus on adding some rest days until it be something that you are incorporating into your running training plan. Don't be too hard on yourself. Many runners do set unrealistic goals that is hard for them to be able to accomplish. And respect your body and listen to it. Celebrate the small wins and work on things that you can control throughout your running, like your running form or even your breathing. In your running journey, you will encounter certain setbacks, like with your work, your family responsibilities, sickness, or even injury. Some setbacks you can recover within weeks or even months, while other setbacks will take you even longer and you may have to take a break from running. Setback can also come from overtraining. So if you are consistently running and you feel like you're not getting better, you might be overtraining. So if you are running too much or too often, it can lead to overtraining and injury, because running too much can tire your body. And it might be hard to run your normal pace. Now, most runners will be affected by overtraining, but if you are finding yourself that on most runs that you are going on that is becoming too hard to run, then you might want to reconsider how long you are going out for a run and how often you are going out for those runs. And cut back on that amount or intensity as needed. And when you are going out on those runs, make sure easy runs are in fact easy. And if needed, take time off from running. You can have setback from mental fatigue as well, because running don't only affect you physically, but it can affect your body mentally as well. So if you are finding a workout hard or challenging, it can affect your mind, which can affect you completing that run. So when you're out on your run, do control your nerves. So if needed, talk to someone about it, like a more experienced runner, especially if you are in a type of running group. And don't be afraid to try something new or different. And if needed, take a break from running altogether, because you might be experiencing running burnout. As runners, we're always learning and adapting in our running journey. Setbacks are unavoidable and expected. Now, check our video on how to handle a bad running day. And we cannot wait to see you there. Until next time, bye-bye.